That's exactly what it's about, to truly, I'm going to go back to that comment, to truly mentor someone and not just coach them. Like, coaching and mentorship go hand in hand. I always talk about that. The coaching piece for me is more like, hey, let me show you step by step exactly what to do. The mentorship piece is a piece where you develop the whole of a person. And that's the piece that is necessary to help the coaching stick. Hey guys, it's Dr. Sonia here with Jump First. I've helped hundreds of creative entrepreneurs and business owners to take back their free time, generate additional revenue, and celebrate while living that work from anywhere lifestyle through creating online courses and digital education. So I'm super excited that you are here. Say it with me. Done is better than perfect. Master one thing at a time. Practice makes better. And this has to work. Right? Let's get it. Hello. What is going on? Awesome party peeps, and also awesome course architects. Okay, let's get into it. I'm super excited. Welcome to the arena. If you are new here and you have never been in the arena before, know that this is a place that we get super visible and sometimes vulnerable, where we talk about our dreams, goals, but we don't just talk about them, we actually move them forward. And so this week has been all about speed dating in the arena. Know that in the arena, you are visible. It is not always comfortable. All right. But you are visible, you are here, and you are moving forward. And it's the best way to build. And you're not alone doing it. And so this week is all about speed dating. We've been doing this past Tuesday, we did business speed dating. So these are people who are in business, who are looking for clients and mentees and people that they can help to make your dreams and goals a reality. And so I'm excited to be bringing that back again tonight. Now, we also have some dating panels, okay? I say dating as in romantic or entrepreneurs who are seeking real love, all right? That is something I absolutely want to continue to move forward with. This is a brand new show, all right? So we're ramping up, but I'm hoping that I get some more courageous individuals who are willing to put themselves out there in that capacity. If that is you and you are interested in speed dating, we have another opportunity that's happening in June, the end of June, okay? So the last week of June. If you're interested though, get in now, submit an application, okay? So that we can go ahead and make sure you secure your spot as a panelist. You can send an email to hello@jumpfirst.org. Again, it's hello@jumpfirst.org, and Kat will make sure that you get the actual application, all right? I'm super excited for more of you to join us in the arena as panelists, but I'm excited that you're here tuning in as well. I want you to feel free and comfortable to drop any questions you have in the chat for our panelists who are going to be on tonight. Again, this is business mentorship, okay? Business opportunities and all sorts of things in the arena. So I'm going to bring up Sam, and then as we have more of our panelists join, I'll go ahead and bring them in too, okay? Let's get started. I'm so excited. What's going on, Sam?
Hey, everyone. Good evening. Welcome. I'm happy to be here.
I love it. Thank
As
you
Dr.
for being
Sonia
here.
says, my name is Sam Amsterdam. And so just to kind of kick it off a little bit about myself, I have been in the biotech pharmaceutical space industry for the past 22 plus years. And now I am a coach, mentor, and I'm taking those 22 years of knowledge and helping either beginners, people of which you don't know anything about the biotech industry or pharmaceutical industry, you want to get into it, I can coach you on how to begin a new career. If you are already in the biotech industry and you've been in the industry between 2 to 5 years and you want to level up your career, I'm your coach. I'm here to coach you along in real time and to where, you are not necessarily doing the work and not getting credit for it, but you're doing the work, you're shining, and you're becoming a leader in your space. And so that's kind of what I do.
Perfect. I love that. Thank you for the intro, Sam. I'm so excited that you are here. And we're going to dive a little bit deeper. So, on Tuesday, and you'll be seeing the replay. So, you got to be live to hang out in the arena. The replays do roll out, but they roll out later. So, just come live, okay? If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, like button, bell notification so you know when new episodes like this drop. Shameless plug, all right? All right, let's get into, we're going to go deeper with Sam. Sam was here on Tuesday, and I want to kind of cover some more stuff and dig into kind of like some of her background and the types of clients and mentees that she's really looking for. And so I really want to dig into, because what you talked about, what you do, Sam, still is very like foggy for me just because I don't do it, right? It's not my area of expertise. And that's one of the reasons why I teach people like yourself how to put together programs, which you have a phenomenal program put together. And so I think to dig a little deeper and help me understand a little bit more about what it is that you do, I want to know, what is the biggest misconception that most people have about what you do?
Well, let's start by saying it's not even a misconception. It's a secret, pretty much. Over my 22 plus years, I have learned from different people. So in every area of pharmaceutical and biotech, there's every department. There's one for science, the scientists who study whether it's a drug or compound or a treatment. And then there is people who does the marketing, the people who do quality control, making sure that the drug is safe and effective, people who manufacture, who work in manufacture, who actually make the drug or treatment. There is the CEO, the COO, the CMO, which is, the chief operating officer, the chief medical officer. There is the finance person, there's HR, there's all these different cross-functional departments. And then there's regulatory. Regulatory is, in a nutshell, the part of the company that's to the end of all of the process. We interpret the regulatory guidelines for any agency bodies across the world in terms of how you make drugs, how you treat patients, and how you get your drugs approved by the FDA or the EMA or any of the bodies across Japan, Australia, rest of the world. Regulatory is that function. We interact with those agencies, and also, in a way, we keep the company honest, in a sense where someone might say, oh, get excited about a treatment or something. Oh, let's rush and do this. And regulatory is here to say, no, take a stop for a second. There are rules and guidelines on how you do that. Within regulatory, that's where my function comes in, which most people don't know about, because regulatory is kind of where they stop. Everyone can go to college or university and get a degree, a master's degree, to work in regulatory affairs. However, regulatory operations is embedded in regulatory affairs. Regulatory operations is, I've heard many names. I've heard Genie, I've heard Fairy, I've heard Superwoman, Superman. We work magic, and we're the engine behind regulatory, because without regulatory operations, your submissions, any of your clinical information cannot get to any of the agencies. We are the documentation specialists. We are the system specialists. We are the people who critique, who review, who see the smallest error in documents, and we fix and make sure that everything is done correctly before it gets submitted. And so with us, there's no room for error. And so within that industry, we are literally the go or no go. If something gets sent to a regulatory body for a drug approval and it's not done correctly, they can say, okay, we didn't get what we needed. This information is not correct. We put you on a clinical hold.
That is
the death of every company, because that information is also public information.
Oh, wow. So it is kind of a secret, though, because y'all are like behind the scenes.
It's behind the scenes, but once if the agency gives you a denial or puts you on clinical hold, that means something is seriously wrong. And then the whole world knows about it. And
Yikes.
that has a domino effect on stock prices, on investments. It's everything. And
Wow.
so it is a very integral part that is also the biotech secret, because no one really knows about regulatory operations if
Mhm.
you're not in the industry. But also, the flip side of that, there's no educational springboard. You can't go to college and get a degree to then do it. So it's a skill that myself and many other regulatory operations professional learn on the job, and it's something that we develop over the years. So when we go into a particular role, we kind of hang out for a while because you build all of those skills. I've seen the landscape of biotech and pharmaceutical change over many decades, and the way how we do drug development and drug treatments, medical care, hasn't changed. It's just been the people, the systems. Now, with all of the stuff that is being, not even all the stuff, just AI being thrown into the mix, makes it even more challenging. Because just think about any job where you're doing something, you do a project and it ends. With drug development, one drug, or even let's make it even simple. The treatment for a tetanus shot, or how you do blood transfusion. The treatment of that started somewhere in a lab, and the process for a treatment goes anywhere from 10 to 12 years from the time you start. So everyone always thinks, oh, biotech and pharmaceutical companies, they're in it for the money. Yes, it's a double-edged sword, because think of it. The company spends all its employees, all its entirety, spends 10 to 20 years developing this particular drug or treatment. And so they're continuously investing without any return. And the only time they get a return on their investment is when the drug gets approved.
And that's where you come in.
And that's where I come in and
That is so interesting.
helping it get to that point.
Yeah.
Because once you have worked, the people always think, well, once we've worked, we've done a submission and we've submitted the application to the agency, then oh, we can celebrate. You celebrate for a second, because then the work really begins. Because now you have an interaction with the agency now. And it's a continuous interaction for the life of the drug or
And
treatment.
you get into all of that, which is the reason that you created your course, right? Is to
Yes.
get into the nuances. So tell me this. What did, and you can talk about like in reference to your course, but you can also talk about just in reference to getting into the industry. What did success look like in your head
Mm.
before you got here to this point versus what it actually looks like now?
Whew, that's a good question.
Thank you.
Because it's really funny. I never really thought about success per se of what it would look like, but now looking at it from the lens of where I am now, of making that transition into being a coach and mentor, I would say this, and I think I've been doing it and saying it along in my head, but now it's like, okay, I'm going to utter it into words. I always say this: I can do what I do and have been doing what I do at every different level in my sleep. I think for me, success looks like that, where I'm able to do all of the functions and activities that are required of me every single day, and every single application is successful, where there's no technical questions from the agency about what I did or what I sent them. Now, I know they're going to have questions on the clinical content and the scientific information, because that's not my expertise. My expertise is making sure that clinical content and research information gets to the regulatory bodies in its most perfect form. Now, we're not perfect. And if you're looking at a particular document every single day for months, you tend to miss things.
Oh
And
yeah.
so, and so we try to work in a way where I am not the only pair of eyes. And
I love
so
that.
I work with cross functional teams in terms of, okay, you've done this, it's gone through several different hands, and even sometimes it's gone through five hands, five pair of hands, and it comes to me and I still find things that they miss.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think success looks like if you're able to execute that job flawlessly. And the other part of it is making it look easy, making something that is difficult and challenging look easy.
Mm.
Because what I do is not something that happens very slowly, it's very fast. It is a very fast paced environment that you're always thinking and resolving issues as you're doing it on the fly, or you're trying to anticipate and mitigate issues as you see them coming 2 and 3 steps ahead. And so doing that repetitiously every single day is how you hone your skills. The other thing is, I can say, um, if you're able to quantify it in a different way, where you know that every single project is not the same. A big project that will take a year to do versus a project that will take a month or 2 months, the risks and challenges are different. You would assume that the largest project that takes a year and there's many moving parts would be challenging. No, sometimes it's not challenging if you plan it right. It's smooth. It's the little ones that you think, oh, it's going to take, maybe a week, a month, or whatever. And it turns out to be the most challenging thing because things pop up that you never expect. Because it's
Like
supposed to be
always.
simple.
Yeah, it's
And
always
it's,
like that.
and it's never is. So
Yeah.
and that's what makes the job interesting. You're never bored. I can say that for
I
sure.
love it because up front, right? It would be like, oh my god, I'm reading documents all day. What do I do? Or reading, reading all day. What do I do? But like you said, you're never bored because there's
You're never
always
bored.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
the
love
other
that.
thing is too, if you like science and you want to learn, reading those documents, because I actually learned how to read documents but not read it, if you can understand.
I kind of do. I kind of do get that because my mom is always like, "How? Why you need to slow down? Why are you reading
Yes,
so fast?"
exactly, because I'm not necessarily reading.
Yeah.
I think the other more fun way of how to explain to people how what I do, if you've ever seen the very first Iron Man, when Tony Stark was in his basement and he had this invisible computer and he's moving things around and he's doing a million different things. That's technically what my day looks like. I
I love
have
it.
I have two monitors and I have two right now, two monitors, two laptops. Usually when I'm in the office, I have one laptop and two monitors. They're like 27, 30 inches. And there's so many different windows open and I'm doing different things. Someone could come, stop, talk to me for a second. They'll talk to me and I'll just go back to doing whatever it is that I'm doing because everything is moving so quickly is that you have to stay focused.
Well, that leads me into my next question is like, what do you think the one thing is that your best clients have in common that has nothing to do with their resume? Like, what is that thing?
Ooh. Oh, so I think I touched a little bit about this last on Tuesday. Now, what I find, and the people that you ask what success look like, who are successful in this particular function, are people who are research oriented. You're good at research, and you have to be technically savvy, and not technically savvy in knowing everything, but knowing the basics, like knowing how to use Microsoft Word Suite. And believe it or not, every document that we use is Adobe. So you have to be well versed in using Adobe Acrobat. Like
Okay. But
someone,
so go ahead, Sam. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
I
cut
was
you
going
off.
to say, someone could send me an Adobe document and says, "Oh my gosh, I forgot to do something." I'm like, give me 1 second. I have a trick. I can manipulate an Adobe document like nobody's business. Those are things
What?
that you learn. Yes, those are things that you learn.
I'm still over here
Um,
like,
Yes. You learn along the way. And the other thing is if you have attention to details, so people who are like executive admins, because you are in that pressurized situation and you know, okay, you need to figure out resources and find things and plan, and you're a good planner, you can be successful in this role because a lot of what we do is planning, mitigating, solving, and executing all day.
I love it. And
And
you really
sometimes,
have to do that outside of work too. Yeah, you have
yes,
to be good at that.
and sometimes you're also a therapist.
I feel like, hold on though, I feel like that's in every single profession, right? Like no matter what you do, to some capacity, you're
Hmm.
listening to people. So yeah, I like that. Okay, so the
Yeah,
ability to basically multitask, which I don't know, like my definition, multitasking has become not a real thing for me these days, but I get like the sentiment behind it because we can't really like do all the things 100% at one time. And so it's not really a real thing, in my opinion, but I do get the sentiment behind it. So it has to be somebody who has attention to detail, can do like multiple, can focus on multiple things, or pull their attention away from one thing for a second and then jump back right back in.
exactly. You can't
And
refocus.
so yeah, that I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, great. So that brings me to my next question. I want to know like green flags, right? Because we are in the arena of speed dating. And so green flags that you look for before you agree to work with someone. And you can talk about this from like the client side.
Mm. So I'll put it in this way, in a fair of in the phrase of a story. So a few years ago, I was looking for a senior manager, and I had our HR send me a bunch of resumes. Full disclosure, in my former life, I used to be a recruiter headhunter, so I can look through a resume and see exactly what I'm looking for. If it's just fluff or if it's,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, no. And
Yes. Same.
so, um, and I'm looking at resumes and I say, oh, this person looks good. This person looks good. I'm like, let's have these people come in for interview because they look interested. And even if they are strong in one area but weak in another, I can fill the gap. And so there was this one particular candidate who had some experience, had more experience in another area versus what I was looking for. And I said to them, this is not going to work. I'm not interested in this one. So I said, okay, I'll see this person and this person. And so when I look at my calendar for interviews, this person is on the docket for an interview. And I'm like, what is HR doing? I specifically told them in my email list, these are the people I would like to interview, and these are the people, thank you, but I'll pass. So I begrudgingly, because I was like, you're messing up my day. I have a ton of meetings. I need to get stuff done. And so I said, okay, fine. I'll interview this person. So I went into that interview with my preconceived notions of I am going to just do the bare minimum and just say no because this is not what I'm looking for. And I sat down and had a conversation. The questions that I asked, the candidate answered the questions, and the way in which they answered the questions had me thinking, okay, this person is thinking on their feet. Because I know I am a very challenging interviewer, and it's by design because I ask you tricky questions.
I love that.
And so we just fell into it. It wasn't necessarily an interview anymore. We were having a discussion. Most interviews, if they should be discussions, because the candidate is interviewing me and I'm interviewing them. And so we got into talking, and I'm asking her about all these different things. What is this? And this is what the role, the responsibilities of the role. This is what's required, and this is technically what I'm looking for. And after 15 minutes of having a conversation with her, I'm like, she's teachable.
We love that.
Yes. And I said, okay, she's teachable, and the things that I'm looking to impart, she'll pick it up, and she'll pick it up very quickly. The other intention was I know I was leaving, so I was grooming her to be my replacement, but she didn't know that.
That is so funny. I
And
think I disappointed quite a few managers by leaving before before they could reveal that to me.
yeah, and so and so her comment was, "You're so generous with your training. Like I've never had this before. You know, in the 8 years I've been in this industry, you're teaching me things I never knew existed, or that you could do these things and you could make your work much more functionable." And she's having all these ideas and thinking, because I was teaching her to be able to be a leader, being able to be a decision maker, and not have me have to look over her shoulder all the time, because I am training you to have the confidence to, if I'm not there, to make those informed decisions, and you have to make them quickly, and you have
That's
to,
so special. That's
yeah,
the like key. Like, and most
in,
people don't do that, right?
yeah,
Like they don't teach that part, like the confidence part, the intangibles. They're just teaching the skill. They're just teaching the strategy, and we need more than that.
yes.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, listen, in this frame of work, it's moving so quickly, you can second guess yourself. You
Hmm.
have to be confident. If you are 100% sure in your skills and abilities and the function of this role, no one can come and tell you any different. This is your function. This is the process that we follow. And if we follow this process, it's guaranteed us for success every time.
Hmm.
It's when you deviate, and it's when
Mm.
you cut corners, is when
Oh,
you start to fall into trouble. And
oh,
so that was the relationship. She came on, and in 6 months, she, after, I think, so this is the test. After a month of me training her, I went on vacation and left her by herself.
that's hilarious.
Left her by herself.
How did she do?
She did great.
Awesome.
And so when I finally told her I was leaving, she was kind of sad, but she also threw me a curveball, and she says, I couldn't stay if you weren't here, because my
Oh,
learning technically ends.
there you
And
go.
so, but she says, the one thing I'll say this, she says, your training gave me the courage to stand in my own strength of knowing that I could do this role and manage something by myself. And she went somewhere else in 6 months and got a higher role.
Love it. I
Yeah.
love it. That's
Yeah.
exactly what mentorship is about. That's
Hmm.
exactly what relationship building is about. And that's exactly what it's about to truly, I'm going to go back to that comment, to truly mentor someone and not just coach them. Like coaching and mentorship go hand in hand. I always talk about that. The
Yeah.
coaching piece for me is more like, hey, let me show you step by step exactly what to do. The mentorship piece is a piece where you develop the whole of a person. And that's the piece that is necessary to help the coaching stick, that because identity has to shift.
Yeah.
Essentially, when you're stepping into any new role, when you're doing any new thing, identity has to shift. And so that's exactly what you do. And you do a really great job of it. And that actually was my next question, but I think you just answered it. Is like, what tells you that a client is truly ready versus just interested, right? Like what moves somebody from lead to prospect, essentially, right? Like how, like, so somebody can be interested, but what tells you that they're truly ready and not just interested in your coaching mentorship, um, and becoming a client?
Hmm. It's as simple as signing up,
Mm,
showing
there
up,
you go. That's it. I love that.
just being committed. Like,
Yep.
and here's the thing. I think, and I've gotten this question as well. People are asking, well, I take your course. I'm like, am I going to be able to guarantee to get a job? No, it's
Right.
everything in life. There's no guarantees. I am providing you with the information, and it's up to
Yep.
you what you choose to do with it.
Yep.
When you go to get your bachelor's or your master's or your PhD or whatever it is, do you ask the professor, am I guaranteed to get a job after I'm done here?
Right.
No,
Right.
you're not. So why are you asking if you're guaranteed to get a job?
That's it.
There's no
Tomorrow.
guarantee.
Tomorrow is risky. Like what,
Yes.
how do you know what's going to happen? You just don't. So it's just, I agree with you. And I love that that was a very clean-cut answer is it's as simple as signing up. Now, after you sign up, there's work to be done, right? Because like, okay, you
Yes.
sign up and now you got to put in the work, which is why I always say, pro tip for your courses, premium courses, if you are watching this and creating a course, whether it's online or face-to-face, we never guarantee student results. We do guarantee course outcomes. Like, you're responsible for your course outcomes. You design what is going to be the ultimate outcome of somebody coming into this program. What am I designing this for them to get? That is your responsibility as the developer, creator, mentor, and coach. But you cannot control somebody else's work ethic. You just can't. You can put all the steps there. You can, have everything laid out. And this is why I also say, what is the sense in continuing to give everything for free? I'm not saying don't help people, right? I'm saying you can put it all out there and somebody still will choose not to do the thing. So why don't you just charge a premium price point, right? When you charge premium price points, you also attract, pro tip for your courses, different clients and students and mentees. You attract people who are, once they have signed up, and that's, I think, where Sam is coming from, knowing what she knows on the other side of premium courses, it's as simple as signing up. Because once you sign up, you already have committed at that level. Like, you're at a premium level. That is much different than you paying $97 for a course, right? Or $27 for an ebook. You may not be that committed. I'm not saying you're not going to do the thing, but the commitment, the level of commitment is different. And so when you do sign up, it's like you're in, right? And you're going forward. So I agree with you. I would really agree with that. Yeah, very good. All right, so I have a couple more questions, and I want to help our viewers go a little bit deeper, because maybe these are questions that you're thinking if you're watching this, and wondering, but maybe not saying out loud. So let's talk about it. All right, so what is the moment, Sam, that you almost quit, and what made you stay?
Okay, I will say this. It's never the work. It's the people.
That's
And
a word.
so I started, I think, after like my second or third company, I started using a particular strategy. I think we all have this concept about, okay, you're going for an interview for a job and you're going with hat in hand. That's not a good strategy. That's a losing strategy. And you go for any role with this particular strategy. I know first you have to know. I know what my value and worth is and what I'm bringing to this role. And your job is to let the interviewer know on day one, when you come in the door, what value you bring. And so knowing that, I said, okay, that's the first step. The second step is I need to understand and believe the vision and the mission of the company. I need to also like the science, like believe the science. The other part is I also need to like the people that I'm going to be working. We all work very long hours. We spend most of our lives working with some certain people every single day. And if you don't like the person that you work with, you are not going to be at your best. You know how companies ask you in surveys if you have a friend at work. There's a reason for that.
Yep.
Because if you have a friend at work, you're more inclined to come back and you're more inclined to be more productive. And so those are the things that I look for. And then the very last thing is, because I know the value that I'm bringing, you're going to show me the money.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
And those,
Go ahead.
and you can have those for 5 or 6 philosophies. It will never say you wrong. And then you just prepare for that interview. The other part is you are interviewing them as much as they're interviewing you. Because just like this platform is about speed dating, we need to figure out very quickly if I like you and you like me. And that's it. And that's it. Maybe we'll get along. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And
Yeah.
so I think many of times what made me leave, never necessarily quitting the industry per se, because I still love business and science and I always will. Um, but there are many a times I have left companies because of the people. When you are working in toxic environment and places where you are not growing and flourishing, and you start to feel, oh my gosh, the angst of I have to get up and go to this place. I don't want to be there. It doesn't make me feel good. I don't feel productive. I'm just counting down the clock. It's time that you need to start looking for a different opportunity. Um, what makes me stay? Again, it's the people. It's the people and it's the science. Like I have been known to challenge HR people when I'm doing my onboarding. I'm like, listen, the science better be good because I'm grading you. I
That part.
want I want to understand the science.
Yes.
And most companies they do have when you do your onboarding, they
Hmm.
do have videos and things to tell you about the science. Even if you're
Yes.
not in the science areas and you're in other areas, there's still a bit of scientific information that you get an idea of what the company does and what study or treatment that they're doing. So you do get a sense of that.
Excellent. There should always be some aspect of onboarding, no matter what you're doing, right?
Yes.
And I personally think that there should be more onboarding in traditional education. But I digress. We'll save that for another time. But there should definitely be the onboarding happening in any great job opportunity, mentorship opportunity, coaching opportunity. And that should extend to traditional education. And I talk a lot about one of my biggest qualms with traditional education is that it just hasn't changed at all. I know one of the things for me that made me leave is exactly what you're talking about, Sam, is the people. It's also like the pay, right? Like that pay was like, oh my God, no. And I even openly talk about how I was significantly undercharging in my own business. And it was making me feel like exactly what you described, which is what led me to start charging premium price points because I'm like, I'm giving like so much of myself and I want the people that I work with to show up in the same capacity. And that goes to our earlier points about when people invest premium, they pay more attention. When people pay more, they pay more attention. And so it's just easier to work with, for high performers and high achievers to be in the room with other high performers and high achievers and ambitious people. And so that was a reason I really had to switch into premium because I was waking up at one point in my business, like really dreading getting up and going to my own business. And I'm like, why would I create this environment for myself? And I just left it. Like this is one of the reasons I left corporate. And so what you said definitely resonates. I would add in the pay as well. And most people don't know because I did a lot of recruiting, staffing, headhunting, as some people call it, before I got into business for myself. And a lot of people that I work with were just not negotiating for fair prices, fair salaries. And I'm like, you can negotiate this. And I would
Mhm.
always I made it my mission to get people more money than what they asked for every single time. I was like, no, no, I'll do it for you. But I want people to advocate for themselves. And if you are in a position where, you're working corporate or, you are looking for jobs, like negotiate your salary, please. Like, do not leave that on the table. Know, like Sam said, know who you are, the value that you bring, and then you get the salary that you want. And if they're not willing, okay, to give it, then I say, now this is my advice and opinion, is not legal advice, so do not do not, okay, until you seek your attorney's advice. Just know this is a platform where I want to give you my opinion. All right. And so my opinion is if they're not offering what you want, then leave. Like you don't have to sit anywhere that is not giving you what you truly desire. We talked a little bit about that on Tuesday. You get to want what you want, and that's just it. I'm not saying don't work your way up if you're in that position and still working a 9 to 5. If you're watching this and you're in the arena and you've been around for a while inside Jump First in the community, then I'm an advocate of start your own thing. Okay, like go do your own thing. What you know is priceless. Your life experiences are priceless. Like go do your own thing. You can do it. So That's my 2 cents.
Well, if you great 2 cents, I think I would add a little onto that is when you prepare and you know your research, so research your industry, research the title that you're looking for to see, because they have websites that they post, salaries. And if they are, because here's the awful truth, any job will lowball you. There is a range. They will lowball you because it's saving them money in their pockets. The other thing is, if you don't ask if there's room for negotiation, there never will be one. I have told companies before, I'm like, this is my range, because they sell you the position, and then they'll say, okay, they ask you, what's your rate? And you tell them, and then they say, oh, that's too high, or this is what we're offering, and there's no negotiation. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, what I'm making right now is not even close to what you're offering. So if you want this and all of these skills and the job description is this big, I'm sorry.
Yep.
The math is not mathing.
It's not happening. Sorry, not sorry.
The math is not mathing. So, but going in, you already have to know this already. The
Exactly.
other part of it is too, and this is a very big part because this triggers a story in my head. I have gone into interviews, leaving a job, not having another one, saying no to them, and going to this interview with confidence, knowing that because I know the skills and experience I bring to the job, but they're going to hire me. I didn't have a
I
job in
believe it.
hand, but I
Mhm.
went out in confidence and faith that I know that my skills and experience and how I show up will carry me through that. And so I've been able to say, I've been able to walk away. I'm like, thank you, I appreciate it, but no, thank you.
That's it.
And you have to be able to do that.
Yep, you
You
do.
cannot be afraid, because here's the thing, if you do not advocate for yourself, no one else will. And history has shown us women get paid significantly lower than men who are doing the same role. And women of color gets paid even lower.
Yes.
And 9 times out of 10, you have more degrees, more experiences.
Yes. I am always, I guess I'm not so shocked these days, but I was when I first started in staffing recruiting. I was
Mhm.
so shocked at the number of men who had the audacity to apply for positions that they were not qualified for. And women are overqualified for positions, and they're like, I don't think I'm qualified. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Right?
You're
And we,
99.9% qualified, but that 1%, you say, oh, I don't think so. Whereas the man, he will be barely 59, and he will
yes,
fake his way through the whole thing
the whole
until
thing.
he can do the job
Confidently.
very confidently.
I'm like, sir, this is nowhere. Like, tell me about how you have this experience. I mean, confidently, okay? Like, yes, I can. And I mean, that was so baffling and surprising to me. And it did come back to full circle moment to the top of our conversation. It came to me having to coach and mentor some of my applicants so that they were able to see, like, hey, no, you can actually do this. And
Yeah.
then when they did it and they got a higher pay than what was ever listed on the job requirements or notification, it was like the confidence that came with that is indescribable. And to me, that was the biggest payoff. Like, that was worth more than the
Mhm.
money for me, is to see people, like, especially women, more confident in their abilities and what they know and how to move forward. So that's always given me joy. So yeah, I appreciate this, Sam. This is bringing back some memories for me, but also, like, I appreciate that the alignment is there as to the passion and the why, right? We actually do
Mhm.
this. So I want to leave our audience with this last question. If someone in the audience is sitting on their idea right now, what would you say directly to them?
Another simple word: jump.
I love it.
If you don't, you never know what the possibilities are. There's only one or two things, positive or negative. That's it. And here's the thing. This is kind of similarly related to that. I heard a CEO, a female CEO, a few years back said this in she was doing a company presentation, and she says the thing about what it is that we do is people are afraid to make the hard decisions. People are afraid to make a decision. She goes, but if you're afraid to do those things, we never will know if we will come up with something wonderful or not. If we will do an innovative breakthrough, you will never know. She goes, the thing about making decisions is if you make a decision and it's incorrect or it's not quite right, you can fix it or you can make a new one.
Yes.
But not making a decision is that you're just kind of like sitting there waiting.
Yep.
Just jump.
Exactly. Yeah, I love
Sometimes
it.
if you jump, have faith and you jump, hey, you may find a parachute. It magically appears. Or someone will meet you and says, hey, you know what? This is the information you need for the next step of your next phase of your journey. Here you go. But until you jump, you don't know what's going to happen.
That's it.
That's
Perfect,
it.
perfect. Very well said. I'm going to leave us on that note because Sam just summed it up. Okay. And I love when people say jump and jump first unprompted. It just brings me so much joy. So we're going to wrap on that note. I truly appreciate you being here, Sam. Thank you so much for Tuesday and Thursday. If you missed Tuesday's episode or you're just catching the tail end of this one, please stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button, like button, bell notification so you know when the episode drops and airs officially. Okay. I'm excited for this to roll out to anyone who needs this. Like, welcome to the arena. All right. I'm just so excited also to hold this space for people who are just getting started, for people who are looking for their next level, the level up, all of those things. Again, if you're interested in being a panelist in the arena for our speed dating, we have business speed dating and there's romantic speed dating. I call it dating. But there's romantic speed dating as well. You can reach out to hello@jumpfirst.org in order to submit your application to be on the panel. If you're looking for resources that will help you continue to move your ideas forward, especially in the area of premium courses, you can get started and find resources, free resources to help you get started as well as paid. All right, at jumpfirstacademy.org. All right. I love you all. Thank you so much. Thanks again, Sam, for being here. You want to tell the people where they can find you really quickly before we...
You can find me at, I think it's a Sam A and LinkedIn, and once you're on LinkedIn, I have a link there that you could either DM me or, schedule a strategy call. Then let's talk about it.
Let's get it. And we'll make sure that we drop Sam's contact information in the description. Awesome sauce. All right, y'all. This has been In the Arena. Remember, In the Arena is not always comfortable, but you are visible and you are moving forward, and that's what counts. I love y'all so much, and I'll see y'all back here next time. Bye, y'all.
Bye.